Hello students, I am Farooq Don. Today we will be talking about adverbs, and I have taken from the source Oxford Practice Grammar Advanced. So what are adverbs actually? Adverbs can modify verbs, adjectives, other adverbs, sentences. Example is here, she always does everything really thoroughly and seems totally dedicated to her job. We have position of adverbs usually immediately before the adjectives and adverbs they modify. So adverbs wire to position adverbs in a sentence before the adjectives and adverbs they modify. For example, it's nearly complete. Is it politically correct? She did it fairly easily. He spoke very quietly. So these highlighted words are adverbs here, and see how they are positioned in a sentence. To continue with the position of adverbs, when modifying verbs or sentences, adverbs can appear in front or end position of clause or sentence. Usually I have a piece of toast and orange juice in the morning. I might have a snack later. So in mid position after be or auxiliary, some people are always hungry when they wake up. Before the main verb here, I really prefer to wait a while before eating. We do not put adverbs between a verb and its object. For example, I drink sometimes coffee. You usually say sometimes I drink coffee or I drink coffee sometimes, but you don't put it in the middle of the sentence. Now we have adverbs of place and time. Sorry, dogs are barking outside because it's late in the night and it's better to avoid them and concentrate on the adverbs here. So we have now adverbs of place and time used to add information on location or direction, usually to in end positions. Here in these sentences you can see how we position them, these adverbs at the end of the sentence or verbs. Before adverbs of time, recently, tomorrow, I slipped and fell backwards. I haven't been abroad recently. So these highlighted words are adverbs here. Now adverbs of frequency means annually, daily, twice and the like words, and these are called adverbs of definite frequency, and you position them in the end of the sentence or at the end of the clause. For example, rooms are cleaned daily. I have seen that film twice. So daily and twice, they are adverbs here. And adverbs of indefinite frequency, for example, ever, often, usually, they are positioned in mid position. For example, it usually rains in the evening. Does he ever study? So these adverbs of frequency can be positioned in the middle of the clause or sentence. Now we have expectation adverbs, like already, used to express a connection between events and expectations. So you position them either at mid or end position. For example, his plane has already arrived. It's here at mid position. Mrs. Black had left already, so it's at the end position. So this is how already is used as an adverb in a sentence. Expectation adverb, we have another expectation adverb that still is used to say that something is going on longer than expected, usually in mid position. So we usually put them in mid position and very rarely at the beginning or the end of the clause. Example is here, we are still waiting. And we have expectation adverb, third type. The examples are no longer, not yet, not any longer, or more. So they are used when an event was expected to continue but it didn't. Usually we put them in mid or end position. The examples are, it no longer works. We couldn't stay there any longer. She doesn't live here anymore. Moving further, expectation adverbs, number third, we have yet now. So yet, it means up to now. is used to show that an event is or was expected, usually at the end of questions, negatives, and expression of uncertainty. Examples are: have you read it yet? Classes haven't started yet. I'm not sure if he's finished yet. So these are usually positioned at the end of a clause or sentence. Focus adverbs. Now they are called focus adverbs, like even, just, only, used to draw attention. They are used to draw attention to one part of the sentence. That's why they are called focus adverbs. For example, she was only joking. He can't even swim. Her research isn't just about English. So only, even, just, they are here focus adverbs, and they are positioned somewhere in the middle of a sentence or a clause. We can change the focus and the meaning by changing the position of the adverb. For example, Mark only works here on Friday. Only Fridays. Only Mark works here on Fridays. Only Mark. So it depends whether you put a focus adverb and where you put the focus adverb. The focus means on this, either on the subject, either or on the object. For example, Mark only works here on Fridays, so the focus is on Fridays here. And if you put before Mark here this only, it becomes only Mark works here on Fridays. So only Mark, not anybody else. Here in the first sentence, Mark only works here on Fridays. Only Fridays and no day else. So not Saturday, not Sunday, not Tuesday. Moving further, now we have degree adverbs. First, they are really, completely, totally used to say to what extent something is done or felt. Examples are: he totally forgot. She really hates fish. We failed completely. So you can see them as at times you can see them in the middle of a clause or sentence, and at times you see them at the end of a clause or a sentence. And now we have pretty, quite, rather. They are used before adjectives and adverbs. For example, they are pretty good, and it's quite tasty. So pretty and quite are adverbs here. Now we have a bit, a little. We don't use them with adjectives before nouns. Like, she's feeling a little tired. The music is a bit loud. So it's a bit loud music. And remember, we don't use very before verbs. Degree adverbs, third, we have more, less, and most, least. They are not adjectives, they are degree adverbs, we call them. Are used degree adverbs in comparatives and superlatives. So going by train can be more convenient and less expensive. Similarly to before adjectives and adverbs, enough after them, it's too difficult. Is this box big enough? Now we have adverbs of manner, used to say how something is done, usually in end position. For example, I will read it carefully. They search the room quickly and thoroughly. We have adverbs of manner. For example, these are adverbs of manner: angrily, anxiously, cheerfully, gloomily, impatiently, passionately, seriously. And viewpoint adverbs. What are viewpoint adverbs? They are used to describe the perspective or point of view being considered. You put them usually in end position or in front position with a comma. Examples are: it was not done scientifically. Financially, the project makes sense. Or you put that at the end of an application or letter, like sincerely yours, faithfully yours. These are all viewpoint adverbs. Now we have comment adverbs, used to include a comment or opinion about what is said or written, usually in front or end positions. The adverb probably can appear in mid position. For example, it was probably a misunderstanding. Surprisingly, he failed. I will refund the cost, of course. So these are comment adverbs. Comment adverbs too. The words are definitely and obviously. We use definitely and obviously to say how sure we are. For example, I'll definitely call you tonight. Obviously, someone forgot to lock the door. We use fortunately and seriously to say how we feel. For example, fortunately, no one was injured. we are seriously thinking about moving. So fortunately and seriously are comment adverbs here. Comment adverbs are actually, apparently, certainly, frankly, honestly, no doubt, presumably, sadly. This is all for today, and today we did a brief session on adverbs. Hope I'll be coming with some new stuff pertaining to English. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.